Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Hard Truth. Okay, today I want to talk about a lot of speculation that I've been hearing about the case and even some things that have been presented as fact. Okay, I want to talk about the location of the killer, the likely location, and also the way that this case has been handled in the past 4 weeks. All right, so grab yourself a coffee or a nice cup of tea as we begin our story. No one OD'd at 1122 King Road in Moscow. Okay, those kids died because they were brutally stabbed and hit. God only knows with what and how many weapons. Okay, and so there's no reason for us to entertain these types of stories. Okay, but we'll never know for sure because the coroner didn't feel the need to run toxicology reports on the students, on Maddie, Kaylee, Xana, or Ethan. All right, the killers live right there in Moscow. Okay, they're either students at University of Idaho, temporary residents, or they are permanent local Moscow residents. They live in the city, and it's not somebody that outside of Moscow that did this. Okay, it's either right among these kids, fraternity and sorority cliques, friend groups or whatever. It's two or three people right out of that group, or it's maybe some people in the drug trade that know the people in these groups, but they the murderers are all coming from this same demographic. All right, University of Idaho students, people that sell drugs to them, and the police that come to their house for noise complaints and alleged drug activity or whatever reason a policeman will come to your house. This is where we will find the killers, the murderers, the cover-uppers, the framers. It's all in the same family right there in Moscow, Idaho. Okay, and so the killers are known, very well known, to Dylan and Bethany. Okay, they didn't see somebody with a mask leaving with bushy eyebrows. They know exactly who was in that house doing these horrific acts. Dylan and Bethany know exactly who did it, and they got on the horn and started letting other people know what happened and who did it. Okay, the only people that's in the dark is us, the public. All right, and all of these people that's coming out giving their 2 cents about what they know and what happened. Okay, and I guess we're supposed to speculate on it. All right, they have a motive for that. Okay, because while we're sitting here pulling our hair out trying to figure out who did it and why, Moscow police seems to have made a pact with the devil, Satan himself, to send Brian Kohlberger up by any means necessary, whether he's guilty or innocent. This is, I mean, he has to be delivered up. Okay, instead of toxicology reports, what are we getting? Investigations all over the United States of dead bodies trying to find out somebody else they could pin a murder on Brian Kohlberger. You're supposed to be investigating in Moscow. You're supposed to be talking to people in Moscow. You're supposed to be finding out what happened in your city. Okay? All these missing people and grand juries and stuff you're doing all around the country. Okay? I don't know who's paying for that. But you need to be investing in solving these crimes in Moscow where they happened by the people in Moscow who did it. Okay, and stop throwing us in all these different directions. Okay, in Washington, in Pennsylvania, in Oregon, and all these different places, and now we're supposed to be on some mad rat race to find out who else Brian Kohlberger killed, and you haven't even proven that he killed this one or that he knows anything about it. Okay, I'm just really, let's just come back to reality. Okay, and stop with the fairy tales and the fantasies. The fact of the matter is, those kids were murdered probably before 4 o'clock in the morning, and whoever did it, they're all in cahoots together as far as covering it up, managing Murphy the dog, managing blood spatter all over the place, managing the time of discovery. All right. Meantime, those kids' bodies stayed in the house for at least 12 hours. For at least 12 hours, Maddie, Ethan, Kaylee, and Xana were laying in their rooms, deceased, with bloodied for over 12 hours. So this is all political. No one cares, because if they did, we wouldn't have a crowd of people going in that house at 12 noon. These kids in there deceased. The coroner not even there until 5:30. God only knows when the kids were actually removed from the scene. If that was my child, there would be trouble. I'm just telling you, there would be big trouble. Now, I don't know. I can't just raise my hand and say, this is who did it. Here's the evidence or whatever. But I can say who didn't. And we need to get back on track, because some of this stuff that we're entertaining now is just plain ignorant. Thank you for watching. Much love.